6 feet under your feet right now, while you're sweating through another July afternoon, it is 55 degrees. Not 55 on a good day. 55 during the worst heat wave of the decade. 55 in January, 55 forever, because that's just what the ground does once you get deep enough that the sun stops arguing with it. And for about $60 a weekend and a shovel, you can turn that fact into a machine that quietly takes hours off your air conditioner's shift every single day. Nobody sells this. Not one store, not one catalog, not one aisle at any hardware chain in America. And once you understand why, you'll never look at your electric bill the same way again. Start with the bill itself, because that's where this whole story actually begins. Air conditioning isn't just another appliance humming in the background. In a lot of American homes, it eats close to a fifth of the entire household electric bill, and when you fold in heating too, climate control alone can account for roughly half of what a typical home spends on energy in a year. That's not a convenience charge. That's the main event. And here's the part that should genuinely irritate you. You're paying that bill standing directly on top of the one resource summer literally cannot touch. Heat waves bake the surface, they scorch your roof, they turn your car into an oven, and 6 feet down, none of it matters. The ground down there runs on its own clock, and that clock says 55, rain or shine, July or January. So if that cold is just sitting there, free, unmetered, untouched by any heat wave in recorded history, why has nobody figured out how to grab it? Here's the twist. Somebody has. The commercial version of this idea is called a ground source heat pump, and it's one of the most efficient ways to heat or cool a building that exists. Professionals bury loops of fluid-filled pipe, circulate it through a compressor, and get efficiency numbers, 3 to 6 units of heating or cooling output for every 1 unit of electricity in, that regular AC units can only dream about. The catch is the price tag. A proper installed system runs anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, which prices out almost everyone who isn't building a custom home. But the physics underneath that expensive machine doesn't cost anything. The physics is just dirt, and dirt is free. That's the part worth sitting with for a second, because it's the whole hidden insight here. The professional version and the folk version are drinking from the exact same well. One of them just charges you 5 figures for the pump that carries the water. Strip away the branding, the financing, the installer network, and what's actually buried in a professional ground loop is startlingly simple. A sealed container of fluid, exchanging heat with the earth, moved by a small pump. You can build a rough version of that same exchange yourself at backyard scale for the price of a decent dinner out. Here's what that looks like in practice. Take a used food-grade drum, the kind that carried syrup, juice, or soap, never anything chemical, because you're burying this thing for years and you need to trust its history. Seal it with 2 fittings, one reaching near the bottom where the coldest fluid pools, one near the top for return flow. Fill it with water mixed with calcium chloride, the same salt the industry uses in its own antifreeze brine, which is what lets the tank survive underground through a winter freeze without cracking. Bury the whole thing with real depth, 4 feet of cover at minimum, 6 if your back and your soil allow it. Run 2 lines of insulated tubing from the drum into the room you want to defend. On the indoor end, a small pump, the kind that barely sips power, USB or solar sized, pushes brine through an old car heater core with a quiet fan blowing across it. Warm room air hits the cold core, gives up its heat to the brine, and that heat rides the tubing back down into the drum, where 55-degree earth just absorbs it and moves on. Why does a drum beat a simple coil of tubing, which is the smaller version some people try first? 2 reasons, and they're both just geometry and mass. A 55-gallon steel drum has far more surface area pressed against the soil than a length of tubing does, so it trades heat with the ground faster. And it holds roughly 460 pounds of brine that starts every single day already sitting at ground temperature. A pre-charged reserve of cold you can draw down before the earth even has to keep up. Think of the tubing coil as sipping straight from a straw in real time. The drum shows up with a canteen already full. That reserve is what buys you real comfort during the hottest part of the afternoon, when the compressor in your AC is working hardest and electricity is priced highest. None of this is theoretical. Community-scale versions of shared ground loops already run in parts of Texas, cooling clusters of homes off the same buried infrastructure. Finland, meanwhile, has one of the highest rates of ground source heat pump adoption anywhere in the world, precisely because their winters make the constant, boring reliability of underground temperature too good to ignore. The same physics, just at different scales. So here's how your weekend actually goes. Days before you touch a shovel, you call 811, free, national mandatory, and wait for the utility lines to get marked in your yard. This step isn't optional and it isn't negotiable. Gas, power, and fiber lines run shallower than most people assume. Once you're cleared, dig your pit with real depth in mind. Shallow burial is where these builds quietly fail because the top few feet of soil actually swing in temperature with the seasons more than people expect. Rinse and inspect your drum, install the two bulkhead fittings, and pressure test the whole thing with plain water above ground first. Fix leaks on the lawn, not after you've buried 6 feet of dirt on top of them. Lower the drum in, run your lines toward the house with a gentle continuous rise, so trapped air can escape and backfill in tamped layers, so the earth makes full contact with the steel. Air pockets act as insulation and quietly sabotage the whole system. Inside, mount your heater core and fan with a drip pan underneath it, insulate every inch of exposed tubing, and mix your calcium chloride brine before filling and purging the loop until it runs solid with no air bubbles. Now for the honest limits, because a channel like Hidden Fix Lab only means something if it tells you the truth about where a build stops working. The soil right around your drum warms up the more you use it, and it needs time to shed that heat back into the deeper, cooler ground. So this system runs in blocks with rest periods, not as a nonstop marathon. On a genuinely brutal heatwave week, your regular AC is still going to earn its keep. This tank takes the edge off and stretches how long your compressor stays quiet. It doesn't replace it outright. It's also a single room solution, one defended space with the door closed, not a whole house fix. And handle the calcium chloride brine with basic care. It's an industrial salt, mildly irritating to skin and eyes in concentrated form, so gloves during mixing aren't overkill. They're common sense. What you're left with, if you build this honestly and run it with reasonable expectations, is a $60 machine sitting quietly under your lawn, borrowing from a reserve of cold that no heat wave has ever managed to touch, and handing your AC compressor a genuine break during the hours when it matters most. It won't win any federal awards, and it won't show up on any spec sheet next to the professional version. But the ground doesn't know the difference between a $10,000 pump and a buried steel drum. It just gives up its cold to whatever's down there asking for it. The only real question left is whether you're going to keep renting comfort by the month, or spend one weekend digging up something that was always sitting there for free.